Close your eyes and allow your breath to slow. Breathe in lightly, breathe out softly. Every exhalation brings you further into peace. Tonight on Midnight Disclosure, we float together down hidden halls, secret documents, and the secrets the Pentagon never completely told us about. We are entering the world of the secret UFO files that were never intended for the public eye. It starts quietly, behind steel walls and coated doors. Deep within the Pentagon, beneath the humming fluorescent lights, are archives with stories too bizarre for official reports. Here, in silent air of sealed chambers, are pages of classified testimony, yellowed photographs, and radar graphs tracing the impossible. Picture yourself walking down a long concrete corridor, chilled and still. The echo of your footsteps rings softly off the walls. Before you is a heavy metal door, marked only by a pale code inscribed on a small plaque. Through the small glass peephole, you notice lines of file cabinets disappearing off into the distance. Each one bears large letters in bold print. Top secret, eyes only. You enter and step in. The air is quiet. Dust drifts in the light of soft illumination. In the middle of the room, on the single table, rests a single binder, thick and tattered. It is labeled Project Sentinel, 1967. It starts many decades before, during the peak of the Cold War. Air Force pilots and radar operators began to report things that were flying faster than anything man was capable of creating. They mocked gravity, rotated at impossible points, and showed up on radar screens one moment and were gone the next. Initially, commanders dismissed them as mistakes or illusions, but with a rising number of sightings, so did concern. Teams were established, clandestine investigations began, and soon a silent repository began to build. Never meant for public eyes, it was only for those already in the know what they were searching for. Every major UFO case you've heard of, Roswell, the Washington, D.C. lights, the Navy's Tic Tac encounters, is a thread that leads back here. Every debriefing, every photograph, every recording was copied, sealed, and locked away in the Pentagon's deepest rooms. Some were labeled with simple phrases like unauthorized craft, others with words that were almost poetic, objects of unknown intent. Within one of the folders, a yellowed memo cautions, Incident Black Vault, unauthorized access, object recovery classified Type Z, no known origin. A further line states, subject reported luminous craft moving through solid cloud formation, no sound, no trace. There's a 1973 transcript of a radar operator in another archive. The man is composed, professional sounding, but the language suggests awe. I locked onto an object, he states. It traveled across the screen faster than any plane. No sound of an engine, no contrail. It just vanished. The report goes on. Interceptors scrambled. Visual contact confirmed. Object went up vertically out of radar range. No sonic boom. The entry concludes with 2 words stamped in red. Case unresolved. Years after, another letter emerges from an Air Force engineer who examined the recovered materials from what he termed an unknown aerial vehicle. His words are cautious, near faltering. Metallic makeup not typical of known alloys, density anomalous, energy field measured even when it was not operating, potential metamaterial structure, no known means of replication. These are not the lines of tale-tellers or dreamers. These are military notes, clinical, measured, written by men trained not to dream, but to observe. And still, every file has the same undertone. silence, wonder, and fear. As you sit in silence, picture yourself flipping each page, sensing the soft rustle of paper against your fingertips. The air is colder, quieter, as though the walls are listening. Each page is a secret, each name a part of the puzzle. Let your mind slow. You don't have to crack the mystery tonight. You merely need to float along with it, to allow the unknown to lap over you like a gentle tide. The tales will go on, and the truth will reveal itself piece by piece. Soon, we'll delve further into the documents, to the cover-ups, the concealed footage, the testimonies never seen in daylight, and the last secret even the Pentagon dreads to mention. But for now, rest. Allow your mind to drift in the soft hum of the archives. The world beyond recedes, and you drift softly into the silence between what's known and what's hidden. You come slowly awake within the same dream, the same silent archive under the Pentagon. The lights are lower now. Somewhere overhead, the gentle thrum of machinery pulses like a heartbeat. The first binder is open on the table before you, and your gaze falls to the next file, its cover stamped with the codename Project Grayson. The first page is crowded with brief entries, clipped and breathless. A radar anomaly, a civilian pilot sighting a high-speed light, a crash in the desert, a recovery team sent out under the cover of darkness. It's claimed Project Grayson was established to research recovered materials from unknown aerial vehicles, not sightings, but cases where something concrete had been found, fragments, metallic splinters that appeared to hum at a low level under an electric charge. Scientists observed that some fragments reacted to electromagnetic fields in ways that were impossible to predict, as if they were alive. The document ends with a handwritten note. Recommend full containment. Material may be reactive. Unknown properties. You picture the scientists at that time, weary men and women in poorly lit laboratories taking readings on samples that would not cooperate, seeing light curve in odd directions, hearing faint vibrations that originated nowhere. The Pentagon's documents are not merely accounts of what was observed in the air, but of what was discovered on the ground. For years, the official line was straightforward. Nothing there. But in these folders, every denial is matched with another confidential file marked Confirmation Required. Deeper in the binder is a 1991 memo. It is short. Satellite imagery picked up object of unknown origin over the Pacific. Looked metallic, estimated size 300 feet. Vanished without descent or impact signature. The final line states, reclassification under directive Shadow Dawn. You find yourself going further into this secret web. The more you read, the more silent the room feels to be, as if even the air can sense what must not be uttered aloud. Another folder opens, this one full of individual reports from airmen and technicians. Each is painstaking but human, infused with wonder and incredulity. One says, we followed a cluster of lights, absolutely symmetrical. Altitude 30,000, unmeasurable speed. They flew as if one mind guided all of them. Another says, when I looked up, I saw it floating quietly, disc-shaped. The stars behind it disappeared, as if eaten. And then nothing. Only the static on the radio. Their signatures are genuine, their ranks unambiguous, but the pages are marked by thick black lines where dates and names have been scratched out. Whole paragraphs disappear into censor bars, leaving behind shreds, recovered, unidentified, unknown propulsion, not ours. You imagine these reports being read by suited men, sitting around sleek tables, determining what stories are released and what stories are locked away. In those decisions, the truth is buried, not erased, merely concealed.
As the darkness gathers, the tale expands. The records tell of unusual visitors, of radar screens full of dancing lights, of planes scrambled but unable to intercept, of ships that were gone as though they had slipped through a rip in reality. They say that inside the Pentagon's secret files is a vault called only Section 9. No official map indicates its entrance, no file mentions it, but occasional mentions describe it. A sublevel under the sublevels, where recovered craft and artifacts are warehoused for examination. The reports mention one object, metal, oval, the size of a small bus, discovered in 1974 in its original state, surface seamless, cool to the touch. The technicians felt dizziness and flashes of light when they were standing next to it, even when the room itself was dark. The report says magnetic resonance inconsistent with all known materials. The next line says, recommend isolation and controlled observation, possible non-terrestrial manufacture. You lean back and let that little phrase repeat softly in your head, non-terrestrial manufacture. It's sterile, remove, but you sense the gravity of what it portends. Your breathing slows. The room around you recedes. You move further into the dream, down another corridor with cabinets. All the drawers quietly hum, like living things. One comes open, and there are photographs. Gritty black and white, metal objects suspended above forests, lights overseas, figures standing next to landed vessels. Under each photograph is the same red mark, do not circulate. Your eyelids become heavier. The pages start to blur, but the story goes on, tranquil and inescapable. There is a brief transcript in one of the final folders of this section. The heading is Meeting Intelligence Division, January 12, 1988. A man known only as Colonel H is heard. He states, "We've determined the object isn't Russian, isn't Chinese, isn't ours. We've brought back samples. I suggest greater classification and complete public denial." There is another voice that replies, "And if it's not theirs, whose is it?" There is silence. The transcription ceases there. Now allow yourself to float. Your body eases, your breathing lengthens. You have traveled deep into the repository of the unknown. The walls seem infinite, the air ageless. These documents are thicker than pages. They are the shards of a tale humanity has attempted to erase. You can hear the faint rustle of pages turning on their own. A drawer creaks shut somewhere. You sense the pressure of the secrets bearing down on your nightmares. In the next chapter, you will discover what is hidden beneath Section 9, the last vault, the outlawed experiments, and the truth that fell through the fissures of denial. But for the present, sleep. The Pentagon's secret files are not in a hurry. They lie quietly in the shadows, stars behind clouds.
You awaken once more in the quiet of the archives. The air feels heavier now, as though you've reached the deepest level beneath the Pentagon, a place that isn't meant to exist. Somewhere far above, the world continues unaware, but here, time seems to hold its breath. A narrow corridor stretches ahead, lined with reinforced doors. Each bears a single letter and number, carved rather than printed. At the end of the hall is a door marked with a symbol instead of words, a circle intersected by a vertical line. You place your hand against it, and for a moment it feels warm. There are no files, no file cabinets, nothing inside. Only a large, dimly lit space. At its center, under a clear plastic cover, is something that buzzes quietly. You move forward, and when you remove the cover, the thing beneath mirrors your face in complete quiet. It is metallic, smooth and seamless, a surface that can bend light like liquid. There is a faint writing around its rim, mere scribbling, really, but in no language you can identify. There is a clipboard on the table nearby. The attached document is labeled Section 9, Object Alpha. The report starts simply. Recovered in northern Alaska, 1978. No impact crater. Object discovered partially buried in permafrost, unharmed. Composition unknown. Releases low-frequency vibration consistent with field resonance. The following line takes your breath away. Internal chamber registered. Access impossible. Material resists penetration and heat application. Appears to react to biological proximity. You picture the scientists gathered about the same table, examining the object's flawless shape, oblivious to the fact that it is examining them as well. The margins have some comments that say reactive pulses, unexplained audio distortion, and temperature fluctuation when observed. The last page in the file says, recommend discontinuation of direct contact. Object appears self-aware. You take a step back and breathe slowly. The hum appears to get louder, not in your ears, but deep inside your mind. You understand now that these documents don't simply document sightings or recoveries, they document contact. For decades, quiet and discreet encounters have taken place between the observers and the observed. Each meeting leaves a residue behind, a faint signal, a disquieting dream, and unaccountable draw to the stars. A second folder is spread out on the nearby table. It's a 2003 memorandum, drafted in measured language. Public release not recommended. Psychological operations suggest phased exposure via entertainment media. Don't panic, keep control of message. The line following that states, we have established the phenomenon is not solely physical. Observation seems mutual. You stop, allowing those words to hang in the silence. Observation seems mutual. They are observing as well. It's here, in the silence of this hidden room, that myth and truth converge. The files, the witness statements, the artifacts, they're all pieces of something bigger, something that's been here a great deal longer than borders or governments. You envision the night sky over the Pentagon, still, endless. Somewhere, lights move outside the atmosphere, their courses intentional and slow. Maybe they've existed forever, invisible until we learned to look up. The secret contained in these records is not a matter of fear or domination. It's a matter of realizing that we are not solitary and maybe never were. A last paper lies under the others, unsigned, unclassified, handwritten. The writing is erratic, hurried, as if from the hand of a person not authorized to write at all. It reads, they aren't coming. They're already here. They move through us, watch through us. The files are not records of sightings, they are records of contact. The note trails off with one final sentence. Do not open Object Alpha when it calls. You step back, steady heart, clear mind. The hum recedes. The lights dim. The door to Section 9 quiets shut behind you. As you proceed down the long corridor, the walls start to dissolve, merging into darkness. You hear still the distant sound of the hum, not menacing, just persistent, like a heartbeat deep under the earth. Your mind wanders between dream and reality. The Pentagon, the files, the objects, they all recede into the walls of your head. All you have is the echo of what you've absorbed, that the unknown is never actually far from us. It lives in the silences between curiosity and belief. Now, take a deep breath. Allow your body to settle deeper into relaxation. The story is concluding, but the enigma still lingers. In the distance, the secret UFO files quietly occupy the shadows, humming with the knowledge that someday they will be uncovered. For now, you are protected here, in the peaceful space between what is concealed
and what is uncovered. This is midnight disclosure. Sleep tight, and mind you, sometimes silence speaks louder than the files ever did.